I looked at it and it just threw me all off. Man. For real.
You good? You
yeah, no, I'm solid. I'm solid.
You know, the Cadillacs in that, dude.
Yeah,
Alright, so again, I'm gonna ask you the same thing. I'm gonna ask you to introduce yourself, how you want to be introduced, and what you do.
Already, I go by the name of Jarv Dee, General Moor Gang, co-general with Nacho Picasso, 1/4 Kingdom Crumbs. Heard of that group? Yeah, I'm an artist, rapper, whatever you want to call me, man. I like to call myself an artist myself. Already.
Alright, man. So I don't know, so I'm gonna ask. I have no idea how you started your musical journey.
Yeah.
How you got from where you were at to begin with and to here. How did that start for you?
Already. I mean, it was always, you know, of course, years ago I was dancing. People knew me a lot for dancing. And I was always doing music at home, like, you know what I'm saying, and behind closed doors, always doing something with music. I kind of brought that to light more. I say I started like doing more music in high school, but I didn't bring it to light until I say after high school. It's because I didn't really want to take it serious like that. I just found it, you know, it was fun. It was around when Napster was out back in the day. I used to just do freestyles on my computer, you know. But my cousin was just like, man, you should just take this serious, blah blah. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not really off that. But you know, I just started doing little stuff. And, you know, you play music for the homies, and they're like, oh man, yeah. So I just kind of went off of there and got with a couple of my friends, Mikey and Tayshawn, who I'm in Kingdom Crumbs with. They were starting a little collective that we called Cloud Nice. So I came.
I fuck with Cloud Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
So Mikey was producing. He just started. He was a breaker. He was heavy breaking and junk with my cousin. So that's how I linked up with Mikey. He was producing. He let me listen to a couple beats. I was like, oh man. He was like, yeah, I got a little studio. I'm like, you got a studio? I said, let me hit the studio. It was like right down the street from where we're at. So he played me a couple beats. I was like, bro, let me get on these. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote something to him and came back and recorded like the next day. It was, and I brought actually Nacho was with me at the time, and he recorded like one of his first cuts over there too. But I just started working with Mikey, man, and that's how kind of we did it. Tayshawn was in a group with Germ called Hella Dope back then. It was like 2009, 2010, and so it was like me and Mikey, and it was Tay and Germ. So me and Mikey would be in the studio, and then we'd record something, then we'd be out, and it'd be Tay and Germ, and then we kind of play music for each other and kind of like, oh man, this is dope, you hear this? And that's how we kind of started. So it was really a house of, Cloud Nights was a studio house where Mikey and Tay lived, and we all used to come over there, play music for each other, and we'd offer a lot of esoteric stuff. So we'd like show each other stuff on the internet, like, you know what I'm saying, about the solar system and all that shit. We just found it really fascinating and interesting, so we just shared a lot of information, and so it was like it was our musical church, you know what I'm saying, a lot of different music. So that's how that started. And I was, you know, of course, I was always making music. So after even Mikey stopped producing for me, I was still getting, I would do raps over industry beats and, you know, whatever I can find. If people wanted to give me beats, whatever I could find, I would just, you know, try to mess with it. At that time too, I had a friend by the name of Blue, McKalen. McKalen Blue Spruce, we called him Blue, who was out in New York, going to NYU, and I went to Franklin with him, but he was trying to be a DJ out there or whatever. But he later started really getting into music engineering. So he was working with a lot of artists, and you know, in New York and junk. And I would be like, man, you know, I'm trying to do this music thing. And, you know, he would listen to me, but he wouldn't take me serious. He'd be like, all right, Jarv, I know you trying to do this, whatever. But you know, it would never be like, I'm trying to mix some of your music. So I flew out there a couple times. The first time I flew out there was when I was like 18, and he was in NYU. And he was just trying to be DJ and shit. So we went out there. I was going out there for dance reasons too. I went there and stayed with one of my homegirls. I was dancing in the company with Savion Glover, who was a big tap dancer. And you know, I would just mix that world, and then, you know, I would go mess with Blue. I would go stay at Blue's dorm. Like I remember I'd say like a week straight I stayed at his dorm. Like I was going to school there. I'll get up, go to lunch. Like I wouldn't go to class, of course, but I'll go to lunch and eat at the cafeteria, go off his little card, and you know what I'm saying, and just hang around with him, and we just did a bunch of shit, random shit. But after I left there, because I packed up all my everything I had and moved to New York when I was like 18. Like fuck everything, I'm just trying to go out there see something new. I ran out of my money in like a month and a half. You know what I'm saying? I had a fresh little check, but I ran through that real quick. So I moved back. I continued to do music, and I continued to send it to Blue. And I think on the second trip I went out there, we're walking to the store, and I just started flowing for him, and he was like, man, he's like, look, we're about to record that right now. Like, he's never done that, you know what I'm saying? He's always been like, yeah, cool, man, I understand what you're doing, sit in my sessions and, listen, He was just like, look, man, I like what you just did right there. We're about to go back and record it. Right. So we went back and recorded and shit, and like, you know what I'm saying? I just continued to keep making music, and he just like, he saw the progression. So he really just started, he was like, look, you know what I'm saying? Jarv, I'm really gonna fuck with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is not just the homie shit, but you know what I'm saying? I really wanna, you know what I'm saying, see this happen for you. So that relationship with me and Blue, that's how that started. And that's like one of the only people I feel comfortable really mixing and touching my music. Like I'll record in my house, and then I'll send it off to New York. And he might stay late for a session, or stay after a session late night and record and mix my shit. So like, that's what kind of shit I got with Blue, and that's how I went all off the subject, but that's how I basically started with the music, and that's where I'm that's what I'm dealing with these days.
Okay. Cool. Nah, I appreciate that.
All right. I draw my answers out into they turn the script after a while, but whatever. Yeah.
So, Moor Gang. Moor Gang is an incredible collective of completely different individuals. It's extremely diverse. Yeah. But it's great. Yeah. And you guys are like you guys ride for each other. I'll say that.
Already. Yeah, definitely.
In every sense of the word. I feel like, what's that dynamic like, and how do you keep so many egos kind of not in check necessarily, but how do you make it work? Man, it's like every other real family. Like, you're gonna have your arguments or disagreements, but it's all family. Like, we all are going for the same goal, you know what I'm saying? And I try to keep everybody's focus on that goal. We're all going for a goal. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not about what we're doing right now. It's like where we're going, you know what I'm saying? So I want to keep everybody motivated just to work, It's like, there's less problems if we're working, A big thing is, there's a lot of people in Moor Gang, and we are all different. Luckily, we all know each other's, like, we're all family. Like, some are really related, and some are just related through other people. Like, we've all been around each other, you know what I'm saying, one way or another. Keeping I'll say, keeping everybody hungry is like, that's my goal, is like, not to get stuck on where you're at now, or be happy with like where we're at now. Like, never be comfortable. Never be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Always remain hungry, because you're hot today and not tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand that. Even though we have, made big steps in Seattle for being a big group and a black a black group of musicians, man. I mean, that's unheard of in Seattle nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, I want everybody to remain humble, and I just want to keep everybody's focus on the goal of going somewhere, of, you know what I'm saying, getting out other places, not just in America, different countries, like, you know what I'm saying? We want to see it all. Like, this is not just it, man. This is just the beginning. So, it's a struggle with, like, having, family is always a struggle. You're gonna have your disagreements, like I said, but keeping everybody focused, man, that's the goal. That's, it becomes hard, but I think music, once we listen to music, or listen to our music, or whatever, it like changes, people kind of forget like what we're even bickering about, man. It's like, oh, new cut, okay, man, it's like a friendly competition, man. Let's go and make cuts, man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, hell yeah. If that answers your question. That answers my question.
Yeah, that was another jump around. And was that a good jump around right there? See, for real, you could be aiming a gun right now. I cannot see you.
Oh, the light. Yeah.
I can see you, but I can't see beyond the light.
Yeah, the light is bright as shit. I feel like this is gonna be a long interview. So I got hella questions for you.
Oh man,
I've always been curious.
Shoot, I know you've been waiting for a little bit, man. Like, what is? Yeah, I'm in my cave, man.
If I can travel and do these, bro,
already, no, man. Feel free to come by the house, man. Already.
So just even, I mean, about Moor Gang, because like, as far as I've known, as you were the first person, obviously, that I heard say it and rep it. Yeah. But and I remember there were times where you would sprinkle some history about the Moors. Yeah. Like, you would put it online and Facebook or Twitter or whatever it was. And what do the Moors mean to you? Because obviously it has some type of relevance.
The Moors, basically, I'll just tell you this: when we started Moor Gang, it was BAYV, Badass Yellow Boys, which was me, Steezy, NASA, and Nacho Picasso. So it was all three of us. And Steezy was part of another family clique that was called Push Gang, which was skateboarders and a bunch of young black kids. So we merged those, and we were watching. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but they made a reference to the Moors, and Nacho actually read a little bit on that, and he was a history buff, so he just like started sprinkling knowledge about the Moors, and I was like, yeah, okay. So I went and dug deep into it. So the information we came up with, it just only made sense. The Moors were African tribe that came about from Northwest Africa, and it wasn't in history. This is the thing about it. It wasn't in history books. I was never into really history in school. I just didn't feel like it related to me. But this subject really related to me, and to find out that it was real, but they didn't put it in the books. It was like a book of Enoch to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put it in there, and it was for a reason. And later I found out the Moors were African tribe that went around and taught different knowledge of self, religion, be civilized, the way you eat. They were the first to bring like expensive like stuff into your house, like gold, and like they were just the fancy cats. You know what I'm saying? They just had a lot of shit and a lot of stuff to trade, and they did a lot of that. So they conquered Italy first, you know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of Italians are darker than, you know what I'm saying? Sicilians are, you know what I'm saying? They're darker than, you think they're black. Like, you kind of look, brother, you got some, you got some bloodline in you. Right. So that was very interesting to me to find out that they conquered that, and they finally got conquered by Spain. And what Spain did was they burned all their books after they conquered. They burned all they didn't want anybody knowing that they gave them knowledge on anything. So they tried to burn all their books, and like they did a lot of just foul stuff. But there's just a lot of stuff behind history that about the Moors that people just did not know. A lot of colleges were based off of Moor knowledge. Columbus his ship was actually driven by the Moors to get to America, because they're already doing trades through America. So it was not, he wasn't the first to, basically the Moors were like, here's a map, but that part is erased out of history. Another one of the first presidents was a Moor. There were 7 presidents before they were recorded, as presidents, and one of them was a black dude, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember his name right now, but he was a Moor. Just a lot of ways they kind of try to turn around and degrade the Moors. You see toys of the monkey with the symbols, the crashing symbols. Yeah. He's wearing Moorish garb. He has a fez hat and a vest on, and that's Moorish garb. So basically, it was a toy making fun of Moors. It was a little monkey with symbols and shit. So they have little ways. Moron, the word moron, it's it's the origin of Moor. You know what I'm saying? They just different ways, man. It was it's all through history though, and the reason why we have our own reasons. We made our own acronym, Militia Organization Order Returns for the Moors, but we're not trying to force, you know, knowledge upon people. We just want people to look back and, you know, realize that it is there, and, you know what I'm saying, to take it, you know, find out about it, because there's a lot, you know what I'm saying, that needs to be heard, and a lot of people need to know, and like, you know, so the reason like we even, you know, we put it out there is, you know, because people do be like, hey, is that for the Moors? Like, yeah. So, you know, and people go back and start looking at a lot of that information, and, you know, it all makes sense. So that's where Moors came from.
It was forced me to do some research.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I've seen it, and that was before.
You know, and that's what it's really for. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a bigger message. You know, we're gonna do what we want. You know, there are real Moor societies that are still living like that today, and not saying we don't go by that, but we still are. You know, we're modern day people. You know, this is what we do. Is, you know, this is just what we do. But we all do have the knowledge of that. So, you know, I want to spread that without having to beat it in people's head and stand with a megaphone and be like, look, I mean, because we're all, you know, I never was a cat that liked to be preached at, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I never felt like it related, you know. You find ways to relate with people, you know. You never just are gonna, you know, come up to a kid and be like, look, hey kid, you need to do this and this, and they always listen to somebody that's been through that situation. If you know, if he's selling dope, I didn't sell dope. I come up and talk to him and look, man, I give you the game on what happened and what, you know what I'm saying? Pay it his way. It's not somebody just like from the other side, like, I'm in a suit and like, this is what you need to do, you're doing wrong. Like, nah, I've been in that situation. Let me show you some other alternatives, you know. I like to hear knowledge like that instead of from somebody that's just not been in my situation. You know, so trying to relate with people and spread good word, you know. Definitely. Yeah.
That does answer the question.
Yeah. Thank you. You know.
So musically related. Dopamine dropped 2012.
2012.
It was one of my favorite projects of the year.
I appreciate that.
Dope. I just put it back on my phone.
Already said that thing.
But you've been described as like a snob, bro. That's as far as like with the music. I describe you as a snob. Already. Jarv just does have the music and he doesn't put it out. Already. You know, and but why is that? Because you do a lot of, and great music, I want to say.
I appreciate that. I'm my biggest critic when it comes down to music. I will do something and not like it. You know what I'm saying? And be like, it doesn't need to be heard. But it does need to be heard. You know, I just feel like, you know, what I'm putting out there is, it leaves a mark for myself. So I'm very, you know, I'm very critical on what I put out there. You know, I don't pick every feature that I want to be. I don't do every feature, you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's a piece of me that I'm putting out there. Like when I leave here, this is what they're gonna look back and see, you know what I'm saying? Is that how you want to leave here, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it sometimes, and sometimes I just don't feel like it, you know? It's just all a feeling. I feel like with nowadays in rap or hip hop or any music, I feel like everybody's like, we always need to collaborate, but sometimes musically it doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? Not everything makes sense. We still, I mean, I might not collaborate with everybody. It doesn't mean we're not cool. It means that I do this type of music and you do this type of music, and one day maybe those lines will cross and we can do something, but right now it doesn't really kind of meet that vibe or make sense. So I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm very picky. And you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing, but you know, it's something I'm still learning and getting comfortable with, you know, even releasing music, because at the same time, like, you know, I might be feeling a certain way about this music and nobody in the room right now might be feeling this music, but there's somebody across the world that's going to hear it and that's going through the same thing. So that's always cool. So I mean, yeah, people can say I'm a snob, but I just try to, you know. I mean, and that's cool, but I just, you know, but I, you know, I just try to, you know, I just try to be, you know, particular about what I put out and, you know, what kind of message I'm giving. Sometimes, you know, it's me being me, but, you know, got to be somewhat critical on it. Yeah, selective on what you do, you know. Already.
It's been a long way though, bro.
It has been a long way, and, you know, people might not feel this next project, but you know, it is what it is. You know.
You have another project you're dropping?
Oh yeah. It's being mixed right now.
You have a date and everything?
I don't have a date. I just know it's coming. It's because I get to sometimes see, and I get to like, you know, I get mad at people be like, man, when you gonna drop something? And then I'll just give a date, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't follow through with that, and then it sounds like I'm just flaking out. Now I'm just a man of the jokes about when I'm about to drop something, but you know. It'll be good.
It's gonna be like detox. You keeping the data out and shit.
But I'm really gonna drop it. It ain't gonna be no detox. See, we've been waiting for that detox for a while, but you know.
My head hurts.
So I remember when you guys when Cloud9 had the website up, you guys were doing the short videos.
Yeah.
And who was it? Tay doing that?
Yeah, it was all
Mikey.
Me, Mikey, Tay.
Yeah, and I remember watching the video of you and Nacho.
Already. Oh, when we're doing
you guys up on Calvary on the 35th and North.
Yeah, that was Nice Dreams. We had a thing.
Nice Dreams was the website. Yeah. Nice Dreams TV.
Yep.
And really, that's what, because of Roger and
exactly
those guys, that made me want to document shit.
Already.
Because I saw that. I was like one of the first shit that I saw from people here.
Yeah,
and it inspired me to do shit that I'm doing now. It was dope.
Already.
I wish that site was still up. But
yeah, we loved it. That was fun. I did some filming for that too, actually, and I don't even, you know what I'm saying?
I think you told me that.
I did Sin's his release party. It was me and Raj filming that.
Yes,
it was over at
I remember that was at before it was Alive and Well.
Yep.
Whatever it was before that.
It was a little art gallery spot. Yeah. I forgot what it was.
I remember that because I was there for that. I remember being in that video, which is dope.
Definitely.
But it brings me to my question. The relationship that you and Nacho have is one of complete respect that I see, because I see people that he doesn't respect, and he's very open about it.
Yeah, of course, he don't give a shit.
How does that relationship work, and how do you guys push each other musically?
Well, we've always, you know what I'm saying, this is my god brother, of course, so before this whole rap shit, we was, you know what I'm saying, just doing random shit. It's kind of like we're gonna make music regardless, and you know, people always be like, oh man, you guys need to do an album and you guys need to do this, and like we have stuff that we are doing, but like we also let each other breathe, like, you know what I'm saying. In the beginning, I always pushed him to do his shit, like, you know what I'm saying. We kind of we always push each other, like when it comes to that time. But you know, in the beginning, Nacho used to just be the filthiest freestyle. That's all he used to do. Like, he couldn't write for shit. Like, he was not writing nothing. Like, he used to get hella frustrated. Like, I can't write, man. I can't write, blah, blah, blah. And like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, dog, come on, man. You got the filthiest. Come on, man. All you have to do is, you know, do this. And he just became a master at just jotting, and he can write down licks faster than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was doing music before that, but, you know, we let each other breathe. That's the most important thing. We let each other breathe. I let him figure out, he lets me figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to them hard times, you know, we might call each other. Like, there's been many times I'm like, dog, I don't know about this shit no more. Like, I'm about to just. And he's like, nope, don't want to hear none of that, dog. We're about to keep doing this. You know what we're here for. And I vice versa. I do the same with him. Like, you know, it's always that. Mutual respect, because that is my brother, and you know what I'm saying, we know where we came from, and you know what I'm saying, how we started this and what we're about, you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, it's never no, like, you know, it's never no bullshit. We'll pull each other aside and be like, look, man, you know, this is what it is, you know. It's just like, I don't know, his progression keeps me motivated, and you know what I'm saying, and he always be like, you know, I'd be like, man, good job, man, you're doing your thing. And he's always be like, nah, we're doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always, you know, if I go, you know what I'm saying, he goes. If, you know, he goes, I go. It's just vice versa like that. It's always going to be like that, you know?
I want to say, man, I think it's dope, one, to even have that type of relationship with somebody.
Definitely.
Creative on both sides, you know, you guys push each other. And, and I like the fact that you guys don't have just a ton of shit together. You know? You have your collaborations, obviously. But it always seems like it makes sense. And it's not like, even if like there was a song that you got on Dopamine that he was a part of, I think 2 songs actually. But he did the hook for one. But it didn't seem like, I was listening, like waiting for the verse to come. And the verse didn't come.
No, I wrote both those hooks knowing that what he, I mean, I know his sound off top, and like, you know what I'm saying, his whole vibe to things. So again, you know what I'm saying, I like my music to make sense. So if it's like, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm good on this, you know what I'm saying, I feel like he sounds good on the hook, and vice versa to him. I don't have a bunch of verses on his stuff, but I'll lay some hooks down and shit for him, because we don't like to, I don't feel like we need to over collaborate, you know what I'm saying. I feel like, you know, we're the same, but we're 2 different type of people, and like, you know what I'm saying, I just like, you know, they know his sound and know my sound, so when we come together, it's just, you know what I'm saying, it's all good, you know.
Right.
But I don't know, I just never feel like there'll be a time for it, but like I said, it's always when the time's right, you know what I'm saying? Right. That will just drop a bomb.
And what makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, he's on a new album too, so, you know, doing some whole other shit that motherfuckers ain't even thinking he's gonna do, so, you know,
nice.
Already.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear it, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. This one's a little, man, this new album's a little, it goes dark and light, man, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I can say, man? I like how, this is my big thing for the past couple of years. I've been paying attention to sequencing.
Yeah, yeah.
People don't sequence their shit well.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I'm listening to Nicki's new album, and I'm like, I fucking hate this album.
It's just, it sounds like they just threw, I haven't heard it. They just threw a bunch of cuts together. It's like a,
so it sounds like. It is, that's a whole different topic in this.
Already. I personally, you know, we grew up in an era of albums, and it'll be real albums.
Albums,
though. Flowed together, like,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? It always made sense.
So we come from that time, and like the past 10 years hasn't been that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still remember that.
There's a couple cats that still do that, like, you know, J. Cole, or, you know what I'm saying? Cats do that, but it's very rare.
Shelly on real quick.
Alright.
Hello? Yeah. Oh, I'm not allowed for that. Fuck, man, just fucked up my questions. Just because that shit's hilarious. Oh man, yeah, so last question I have, and I love asking this question.
Yeah.
Because everyone gets different answers for different reasons. It's always hella filthy.
Right.
If you could choose one person to produce an entire album for you, doesn't matter who it is, it could be past, present, they could be dead, it could be live, one person to collaborate with on an album, or they're producing the whole joint for you, even provide vocals, whatever, who would it be and why?
Damn. That's a hard one for me, just for the simple fact is I don't like having one producer during the whole fucking album. Because I feel like I'm gonna get the same thing from that same producer through the whole album, even though the beats might change. I mean, I haven't really sat down to do that because I pick them as I, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, this is my vibe here, this is my vibe here.
Or if you could have like just a collaboration.
If I have a collaboration, two big producers that are really.
What does not be producer? It could be somebody you create with musically.
I'm gonna say producers. We're gonna. No, I ain't creative. I say like Pharrell and like Timbaland like would be like. I was not for Timbaland for his new like shit, but for his old like Timbaland like in 90.
Timbaland Magoo.
90. Yeah, Timbaland Magoo. Timbaland. Yeah. I used to be off that shit so much, and Pharrell is like, you know what I'm saying? He's just like an artist that I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I could, you know what I'm saying? I just, his vibe is filthy, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, vocals and just the style he comes with and out of the box type of shit he comes with. But Timbaland too, so I just think, I mean, they're both from VA, but I think those are two that I really just want to do some shit with. I was a fan of growing up heavy, so I'd say those two. I'd really say those two.
Okay.
I could think off top of my head. But there's so many people. If we're talking about everybody, like it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to really. It's really hard. That's a really hard question. That's a really hard question because, you know, my moods change. So it, you know, whatever my mood would be at the time. It might start with Timbaland and start with Pharrell, and then it might be like, man, let me call Quincy Jones, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it varies because I don't know how I'm gonna feel at that time. But those who I would start with, Timbaland and Pharrell. Yeah, that's what I would start with.
Well, man, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Already.
Absolutely.
Aight.